the way the car handled in the draft?
I've had a few moments that, I probably didn't expect to have maybe, but there's also been some things that have been really good about, the test. I think honestly it's been good to just be down here and get this track time. I mean, same old car runs are what they are, and it's more for the team base, but the more drafting runs we can do, I think it's only going to help the guys who are here. So I think it's been a learning experience. So there's been some good things, probably more so than I thought.
And you talk about the drafting runs being good experience. There certainly are some teams that didn't come or already gone home because they want to save their cars. So what's the balance for you? And when it comes to an actual race weekend, is it going to be in the back of your mind the inventory that you guys have, or the lack of it?
Yeah, it's a good story and it's a good thing to talk about at the shop, but once I get in a race car, it's not in my mind. I don't think I've ever raced with that kind of thought process, because I don't think you'd be aggressive enough to do what you need to do. So yeah, I mean it's definitely on the forefront of the minds of the team owners and crew chiefs and things like that. But for me, I'm just I go out there to try to go as fast as I can.
Holly? Hi, William. Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service, and my question is kind of along the lines of Bob's, but how much better do you feel now having had a couple days in the car, and how do you anticipate having all of the practices that are scheduled for you guys before the Daytona 500? Do you plan on participating in all of those? Do you think they're going to be, just kind of how are you sizing that up ahead?
Yeah, I think it's been nice to be in the car. I feel like I think really the first test with our own car was the Roval, and I've come a long way in my confidence in the car and just my comfort in the car. So I feel like everything is really pretty laid out, nice inside the car. I feel comfortable with how much I can slide it, things like that. So that's all been good. I think as far as practice goes, we just have to see what Rudy wants to do and kind of figure out what our plan is. But we came down here last year with a pretty aggressive approach to try to race and draft and even having locked in on the front row, we raced the duels and did all those things. So I think we'll still try to do the same thing this year and hope for a little different result than last year. But it seems to be the best for us to just come down here with the mindset of trying to learn as much as we can until the race.
Do we have any additional questions for William? Oh, up front here with Jim. Get Russell steps in.
Jim under motorsport.com. How's that new team weight working out?
The one? Oh, Dale?
Working out, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, he's it's cool because we've spent time with each other, and obviously I drove for him, but I've never been at the racetrack with him, and seen him in a fire suit and been able to pick his brain. So I really like the way he dissects things, and I feel like, these tracks are he just has such a comfort, at these places. So it's cool to, pick his brain on some of those things and how comfortable he is and some of the things he picks up on. It's like it's happening, in slow motion for him. So, I'm sure a race is a little different, but it's definitely fun to be out here with him and kind of learn some things.
And I know you had plenty of previous experience with Rudy before you paired with him in the Cup Series, but how do you feel with the two of you entering your second season together?
Yeah, I think, gosh, he did an amazing job last year. Some of the stats I've seen, the speed of our car, and some of the stats that David Smith puts together, it's pretty impressive what he did last year. And I think honestly, the only things that, experience does is just improve some of those things. It probably improves his, decision making, makes those things happen slower. At least it has for me as a driver. So, I think it can only get better. I think a lot of people see a lot of potential in him, and obviously I do, and we've worked together for a while now. So definitely last year was, we had a lot of opportunities. We left a lot out there to be desired, but I feel like it's there in front of us. We just gotta go out there and do it.
Go back to Holly in the front.
I'm sorry, was I talking about? one more follow-up kind of to that. Going back and looking over, your numbers last year were markedly better than you've ever had in a season. How much does that kind of pump you up for this year? I mean, make you feel like you've got to this point now, so it's really just a matter of, you know, reeling it off and really challenging for the championship. I guess what I'm saying is that statistically, last year was absolutely your best by far. So do you feel like you're kind of at another place competitively?
Yeah, I think I'm less and less worried about how is this going to work or what this new piece is going to do, and it's more I'm more just focused on just the really important things that I know I need to focus on. So I feel like we've really narrowed our focus over the last year or so, and have a good idea of kind of what we need to do as a team to win and be successful. So last year was great, in a lot of ways, but like I said, there was a lot to still be desired in terms of results. But I think hopefully this year is better.
I'm gonna go to Kelly up front here. Kelly KramerRacer.com. Kind of going back to what you were telling Bob about, cars that you have and things. Do you know how many cars that your team will have by the time the season starts?
I know we have 4 right now, so I see, when I go to the shop, I see a few more center sections than that, that don't have any, front or rear clips on them. But yeah, I think, I think progress has definitely been made, and I feel like by the time we get to, to here, I think it'll be a different story. So, when I left for, I guess, Christmas break after the Charlotte test, they've already come pretty good ways from that, and I think it'll only continue to get better.
And then going back to talking about the draft and how this car handles, Joey Logano was saying that it was intense in the drafting pack yesterday, which is, I guess, not surprising when you guys get out there and do that. But he said there's really no big differences that stood out. It's just kind of learning the little things of this car. Do you feel the same way? Did it feel any different drafting at all yesterday or today?
No, not really. I mean, I think the car's a little more responsive, like we've talked about with the steering, and I feel like that allows you to not have as many like large moves. So I think everything happens a little bit quicker than the previous car, but I like it. I think it's been good so far. I mean, to only have probably a little less than half the field here and put on that good of a race between us, I think it's a really good sign. So it should be pretty awesome race.
Anything else for William? All right, William, thanks for joining us.
Awesome.
Have fun the rest of the day.
Thank you.